Good morning, everyone. Now, I've got a lot to do today, so I thought I'd get the dogs out early. But it's one of those days where I've had to almost wait for the day to wake up. How does everyone else feel about winter? I struggle with it. I do have seasonal affective disorder. Not as nearly as noticeable when I worked outside. Now I don't work outside for a living. It's more noticeable, but we're well past 8 o'clock in the morning here in Devon, and you can see it's only really just light enough to walk without a head torch. Never mind. Onwards and upwards. At least I'm fortunate enough to be out here, be able to enjoy the dogs. And actually, one of the joys of shift work is that at least I'm not working 9 to 5 and never seeing any daylight. So I have to keep reminding myself of that. Right, we're heading to the woods here. The dogs can have a run. Good girl. Oti's really not liking that she can hear hounds, and I don't blame her. It is illegal for them to be exercised in forestry England woodland anymore after a court case a few years ago. But the hounds, the hunt, don't like to believe that. And we've had a few incidents with them since. I thought they'd stopped exercising through here. I haven't seen them for at least a couple of years. So fingers crossed, I'm just hearing them from elsewhere. But it does make our dogs wary. Makes me wary. Because I've hunted, as most of you know, previously. I was a work rider, carriage driver, etc. And yes, I hunted, it was part of my job. It was all drag hunting, but I've seen what hounds can do. And I also know, around this area, how little control the kennelmen have. Good girl. So fingers crossed we won't meet anyone today. It's a weird reddish light this morning. Dave just seems to be very slow waking up. But you can see, because you can hear those hounds, Oti's not running around with her usual good girl, usual enthusiasm and smile on her face. Whereas Merlin's clueless about them, he's never met them. I think once we've walked this side of the woods and we're back onto the other side where they don't go at all ever, she'll hopefully relax and be a bit happier. Merlin is having an absolutely wonderful time tearing around the woods. And you can see actually Oti's now relaxed, dropped her head because we've turned away from the sound of hounds. We're now on the lower path heading in an opposite direction. So there we go. Hopefully we'll all be able to relax and enjoy our walk now. It really is lovely out here. It's damp, but it's not raining. And the pine smells amazing. Where so many branches and trees did come down, you've got that wonderful and very appropriate sort of festive smell, which is really nice. Good girl, you a bit happier now. There's your smile. Good girl. Hey, monkey. Good boy. Well done, little man. Good lad. You both good puppies. Come on there, let's go. As you can see, Oti is quite a sensitive soul. She always has been. When I've sort of described her as spooky, a lot of people don't like that. But it's exactly what it is. She'll back off from things, she'll react to things. You'd want to put your leg on if you were riding her, reassure her, send her forwards. Instead she comes back to me, which is great. When she was a pup, she terrified me one day. The dog didn't go for her, he just barked really loudly. And she'd never heard that before, and she ran back to the car. Thankfully we were in a park where she didn't have to do any roads or anything to do so. But it did make me put her back on a long line for a few weeks until I really, really had that recall absolutely sorted. even when she was worried. I had to go and sort of find lots of things that worried her and get her to really realise that coming back to me was the only real option. So I'm fortunate she does that now. But yeah, she's a sensitive soul. Whereas he's a worrier. He's a worrier in regards to people. He's still wary of people. There's still a lot who can't approach him. There's a lot more that can. And all our friends at sort of dog training and things can give him cuddles and he loves it. Hey, which is just brilliant. But he is still very, very wary of new people, or even people sort of coming to him from a different angle. But when it comes to things out in the woods, sounds and things like that, he could not care less. I'd been in a garden centre a couple of days ago, singing Christmas tree, no problem. Reindeer moving, yeah, not a problem. So he really is, people he's wary of, whereas she is very much things that shouldn't be there as far as she's concerned. But I love their different personalities. Of all the dogs I've had, I was counting them up, I reckon I've had 9 of my own. And I'm fairly sure it is, but I've then worked with probably another 100, 150 quite closely. When you're in a living job as a rider and carriage driver, you often get dogs with the job. And I love all their personalities. And for me, dog training and enjoying them, that's a lot of what it's about. This is just such a great place for them to explore. Look at that happy walkie smile. Have you lost her? She's not down here? Has she snuck off without you? Aha! She's gone behind us. And it is brilliant seeing them play. Even though both can go OTT at times. Oti tends to go OTT at home and he goes OTT out here. But it is such a nice relationship to see. And even the times when I'm sort of thinking, I've run out of time, I can't exercise both dogs separately, I can't give them what I need, and I have sort of like crisis of, did I do the right thing getting a second dog? And then I see them playing like this, and I think, yeah, my dog's not with me all day at work in the same way. It's not running miles and miles next to a quad bike or a carriage like all my previous dogs did. So having that second one really does add to their lives. I'm just loving it down here today. It was slightly misty but not. And I feel the world hasn't really even woken up. We're only just starting the first odd cheeps of the dawn chorus. So the birds haven't even woken up yet. It's brilliant. Hey monkey! You've lost her again. Good girl. You can see the day's not really woken up yet. Steady. I don't know how he doesn't do himself damage. He's got better, hasn't he, Oti? He does at least think a little bit more before he jumps down things these days. But he really does amaze me with his jump. We were out with a friend the other day. How can those little legs be so springy? They just really are. Oh, it's just brilliant being out here. Whatever's going on in the rest of life. Struggling a bit with work at the moment. Work-life balance. But this is what life's about, isn't it? Good job. Here. So we're coming up to a small road here. I've just called them back to heel. I can't decide whether we're going to walk the other side of the woods or head back to the car park. We've still got plenty of running in them and I've got time. So I think we'll certainly go a bit further. Now there used to be a really nice cut through up to the right a little way up here, which was nice when walking up the road. So I might go and see if we can find that today. Good dogs, well done, nice here. Good puppies. So we can start hearing the birds properly waking up now. We're at last getting our dawn chorus. And it's 25 to 9. So I think even birds are lying today. Now, little Merlin here has just bounced up to me, haven't you, to see what I was doing? You are a gorgeous boy. And then big sister Oti realised she was missing out, so she came too. But it does make me realise and remember that I've got to get him out on his own more, because that's the only thing you lack slightly when you get more dogs. You don't quite have the same relationship. So yeah, I do need to get him out on his own a bit more. Merlin, I've just stroked you and you smell. Have you rolled in fox mess somewhere? He says, yep. Right, that'll be a quick wash off when we get back to carving. Right, that's one of the paths I used to be able to get up. But I don't know if I can now. I think we'll give it a go. See what happens. It's definitely still a track. It's a bit overgrown. And there are bits of branches down. But so far, it does all look doable. So we'll carry on and see how far we get. It's pretty steep. Even steeper than the road, I think. But I'm getting there. And this should take us to the sort of top path that leads back to the car park we're in, if I remember rightly. If not, worst case scenario, we come back down and go the other way. Good boy, Merlin. Now Merlin has got that proper collie characteristic. Good boy. He's the one who comes and checks back on me, which is just lovely and what I'm used to. And it took me a long time with Oti to get used to her not really doing it. Being that retriever personality, as long as she knows where I am, she doesn't see the need. She can hear me, she knows where I am. Why bother looking? Right, this is steep, I better put you down and concentrate. I'm just having a moment's rest, but looking back behind we can see just how steep it was. Right, good job guys, let's carry on. Yeah, he comes back to check on me. She comes back to see whether she's missing out on anything. Question is, which way now? Part of me thinks I want to sort of stay hugging the road as much as possible. But another part says that's the clearer path. Let's see what the path to the road ends up as. And then we'll try the other way if needed. I was about to say this track has sort of petered out to nothing, but it's brought us to a junction to a different track heading upwards, which is still going the right direction. It's where we want to be, so we'll carry on this one. Some days when there's time, it's just nice to get out exploring, to be honest. As long as I'm on clear tracks, I'm not trespassing. There's no reason not to. The lady I first walked one of these tracks with a few years ago, I don't tend to see so much anymore. We just moved out of the area. But she knew these woods amazingly well. Right, we've joined up with another much clearer defined track. That one, I would imagine, brings me nearest the car park. this one, it might well bring us out above the mound. Let's have a little look. There's definitely open sky at the end of it. Oh no, this does bring us out onto the main track. So there we go, perfect. But I think I possibly turned one track too early. Yeah, this has brought me up much closer to the car park than I thought I would be. It's something worth bearing in mind if you do go off exploring. Let's get my breath back. You do really need to know where the roads and car parks are in relation to dogs. That's all right. We're nearly back. Merlin, we're not going round again. So it's cut off quite a bit of a walk and given it quite a bit of interest. Merlin, Oti, Merlin, good boy. I'm just trying to figure out whether I know these dogs or not. Good boy. Yeah, we do know them. I haven't seen them for a while, have they? Hello, guys. He's still quite well. Oh, there we go. We do know those dogs, but we haven't seen them for ages. They were ones we saw sort of daily during lockdown or when we were sort of allowed out to walk out here. But they hadn't even met Merlin. So it's been at least a year. Right, that was a lovely morning walk. It might be a bit grey here in Devon, but it's dry to walk in. I'm not dealing with raincoats. I've done all that in a sort of fleece top and a gilet. The birds are waking up. The dogs are happy. What more could we ask for? Well, I hope you enjoyed walking with us today. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you all soon.